Okay, guys, we are live. And again, we're going back to the chest. Going back to do some chest workout. Start off with decline and then work our way up. Only bends, that's it. And I'm trying to work more on the chest because that is an area that I need a lot of work, especially the lower chest and the upper chest, just the overall area. I need a lot of work there because, again, like I said, with come age, certain things start to go down in the body, and you gotta like focus and pay attention to those things. And it's pointless working everything else, and you don't have a good chest. So that's my focus. So over the next few while, as I said, things are gonna start to speed up now. I'm gonna start to work harder and harder now. So let's get going. We're gonna start with the chest. I have my bench set up a little different tonight because I was experimenting with another angle to work the lower chest. So I just set up things a little different where I don't have to use the other band. I can go with just this band alone. Okay. Oh, my hands are being choked in there. Fingers. So I could be more free, can use this a bit more freely now instead of using the bar because I really want to hit the angles on the chest. Here we go. So I'm going to be doing a lot of higher reps now. I think I'm going to take my fingers out of this and just hold the band like this way. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, so that's one set done. We go for another one. I want to get out of this position as quick as possible because I hate when my head is hanging back like this. But the angle works, so that's why I do it. This feels a little weird. So let's go back to this again. If I don't do this, I'll have to put a strap on around my hands. So I don't want to get up again and get out of this angle to have to do this again. Okay, here we go. I want you to think about it this way. think of having a dumbbell in your hands, and that's what you're using to push. The same way you will hold a dumbbell is the same way you hold a band, and it's the same way you will twist your wrist. You don't want to go this way. You want to go a little bit like this. Just turn the wrist this way. This way, it's not good because you can actually overextend and hurt yourself. So this way is better. Whoa. So let's see if I can get it. Whoa. Yep. Okay, so now we're gonna move that camera to the front and we start to, actually, you know what? I'll do a set of these first before I move the camera. Let's get a couple of sets of these first. The flat chest press. I don't like doing them, but I'm gonna get a couple of sets in. So the same band I'm going to use. What I did, I actually took the band and I hope you guys can see this. I took the band and like how the band comes out like this. It's like this. I just ran it right through the heavy duty clamp, came through on the other side, and I found that that actually works a little better than how I had it before. And it's actually much more easier to push. And I moved the bench from the other position I had it in and just bring it a little bit further back. So it's more aligned with the chest and it actually feels a little better. So that's what I did to change my position. A couple of days ago I was playing around with it and trying to figure out how can I angle this a little better, and that's what I did. So using resistance band, every day you're learning something about your workout, right? Every day you're gonna learn something and make your improvements. Like this now, this is a lot easier to do the exercise from how I position the bench now. And I'm getting a better contraction too. I can put a bar on there if I want to, but since I'm not using dumbbells, this way is actually okay. The same as using a dumbbell. But I'm gonna keep going like that right through, even for all the other exercises. I'm gonna follow up with incline, everything is gonna be done this way. I'm not gonna use the bar, just strictly this way is better. For now anyways. Where's my band? Oh. And because of how I ran the band under the bar, under the heavy duty clamp, if you notice where my hands is, it's exactly where it should be when I start to do my chest presses. So as I'm pushing, from the time I start to push, the resistance is already there. So there's no slack on the bend. Whew. So I'm gonna move. This is incline now. I'm gonna move the camera to the front so you guys can see me from the front now doing the exercise. Yeah. So is that the right angle? Yes. So I have to pull the band out because now it's it's gonna be too much resistance and I don't want to break my band. So we're gonna start from a lower resistance and then work our way up. Just as if we're using the dumbbells. See, if I keep going like that, I'll wrap the band around my hands and it's gonna get too tight, so just double it like this. So I already have the resistance I need. And if you notice, I'm keeping my reps high. And it's just getting sweaty. So I'm gonna go up to the next level band now. Today's my day off. I slept all day long. All day I slept. But I'm catching a bit of cold today, I can feel it. Yeah, this band is actually a bit longer than the other one. I can feel it when I do these exercises. Okay, guys, I'm going to say something. Some of you may get offended by what I say, and that's fine. The one thing I don't like over the years since I've been training, because I started training since I was 16-year-old. When I was 16, I knew nothing. I just wanted to work out. I was running track and field, and I just wanted to start exercising. So I started over in the summertime when I was 16-year-old, just after my 16th birthday. And I was working out for my parents' home in the basement. And actually, we had a basement that wasn't finished, so you can see all the dirt and everything on one side of the basement. But I used to do a lot of workout in the basement. I bought some weights. If there's any old school people watching me, do you remember consumer distributing, where you can go buy, you actually go to the counter and you look through the catalog and you choose what you wanted, and then they went into the back and they bring their stuff out? That's how I bought my first set of weights. I only saw it in the catalog. I went into the warehouse and they just bring it to the front and I took it home. And I used that to work out with. But when I started, I didn't know nothing. And over the years, I've learned as I go along. I have never had a coach in my life. And I don't need a coach. All right? I've learned enough along the way, and I, do my research, and that's how I did everything. No one teach me anything when it comes to working out. I just learned looking at the old school bodybuilders working out back then, that when I was younger, and I go to the gym and all the old guys. I remember there's a very popular bodybuilder at the time. His name was Livingston Jeffers. He's Canadian, and he won the Mr. Universe. And he used to train at the gym I was training at. And I just looked at what he was doing and I just learned. Just like many young kids today, probably that's what they're doing. And that's the same thing I did. So when someone sent a comment and saying to me, oh, you're moving a little too fast, or you need to slow down, you know what I can say to you? Please, you can do that to your own body. This is my body, and I know what my body needs. It's the same as how you know what your body needs. If you learn your body, you know what it needs, and that's how you'll work out, right? And for myself, that's what I've been doing. I do a certain exercise repeatedly, and I try to figure out where it works. We all have common sense, and that's how I train. Yes, I might take some tips from time to time, but at the end of the day, you have to apply it to your body and see how it works, because there is tons of exercises out there, so many of them, and you can try all of them and figure out which one is going to work best for you. I will never say to you that this exercise is not good, this angle is not this, and this angle is not that. No. Try everything, guys. Try everything and see which is going to work best for you, because our bodies respond differently from different exercises. And that's fact. I'm not a science-based trainer. Yeah, science says this and science says that, but at the end of the day, you still have to apply it to your body and see if it's going to work. So If some of you are offended by what I'm saying, that's fine. But at the end of the day, I don't have a coach, and a coach cannot tell me what's going to work for my body. I have to apply it to myself, because a coach can tell me 1,000 things and some of it doesn't work. So at the end of the day, I have to apply it to my body and see if it's going to work for me, right? So that's what I want to throw to you guys. So if you want to get a coach, go get a coach. I'm not going to stop you. But at the end of the day, like I'm saying to you guys, all those exercises you're going to do, at some point in time, you're going to have to figure out which one is actually working better for you. And a coach may sit with you for many years or many months and try to figure it out themselves too, but it's your body. So only you can tell how your body is responding to a certain thing. If, for example, if you don't like a certain exercise because of how it feels, then I suggest you don't do it. But if you like another exercise and this feels better, then do it, right? But when you do it, be careful of how you're doing it. You don't just do it. So it's like, if I start moving faster doing an exercise, I will tell you something. I don't like cardio. I hate cardio, seriously. And I'm telling you guys, I totally hate cardio. So the way I train, if I take less rest, that's the reason why. That's where my cardio comes in, right? I like to run, but only I was just a 100-meter runner. But cardio is something that I really, really didn't like very much. So what I would do, I will train faster, take less rest, and move faster when I'm training. That's what I do for my cardio. And I walk a lot. I walk a lot, actually. I mean, like, I will walk from I won't tell you exactly where I'm living, but I will walk from, I'll give you an example. From, let's say, Yonge and Eglinton, if I had to go downtown Toronto, I'll walk from Yonge and Eglinton all the way down to Yonge and Dundas. Something like that I would do, because I like walking. So there's my cardio too, right? I don't have to, and and honestly speaking, I have trouble gaining weight. I've always had trouble gaining weight. So if someone say hop on a bike, I'll hop on a bike, but I'll go buy a bicycle and go bike riding, because it seems more fun. But to stand in a gym and go on a bike and just, it doesn't go with me. So yes, guys, if you need, some people need a coach because they're not motivated enough, right? But you can, old school bodybuilders, we didn't have coaches. We didn't win a bodybuilding contest because of a coach. We win a bodybuilding contest because we learned, and then we went out and get things done on our own, right? So today, when people talk about coach, it doesn't really go with me. Maybe for the new generation bodybuilders, it's okay, but for me, it doesn't go with it at all. So I don't see it that way. When I was at the gym working out, I remember the first time, oops. I remember the first time someone saw me doing shrugs from the shrugs from behind, and they asked me, "What is that exercise?" And I explained to them. I said, "The shrugs, you can do shrugs from behind. It actually hits the traps much better, actually from right." And he goes, "I guess, but that doesn't make any sense." I goes, try it, and you'll understand why." It says your traps is located to the back, and I found over the years the best way to work the traps is from behind. He tried it, and he goes, "Yeah, it actually works." I didn't know that because it looks like a strange exercise when you see someone go like this. It looks a little weird, right? But it's actually working the traps, but just from the back, because that's where the traps is located. It's not at the front. Uh, you talk to some professional bodybuilders, they tell you the same thing. They rather work the traps from the back. Some guys rather grab a dumbbell and work it from the sides. It depends depends what you like and how your body's responding to the exercise. So when someone say to me in a comment, "Don't do this or don't do that," that's there is a wrong way. That way is that way. You know, that's like someone who's trying to tell you they're inside of your body to know what your body needs. So that's just how I see it. Some people will be offended by what I'm saying, and I'm not saying anything. New coaches out there who might be watching me, you know, I'm not trying to mess up your business. I'm just trying to say straight, plain and simple as it is. It's your body, so you have to know what's going to work for your body. From the time you start doing an exercise and you don't get any results from it, then you need to change that exercise and try something else. It's just, I think building the body is just common sense. It's all about a feeling of how the exercise is actually working for you. Yes, some people will want a coach. You can get a coach. So I'm gonna do another angle. Um, After this, we're gonna ting the bench, push the bench just a little bit further down. And I wanna get more in the upper chest. So I'm gonna show you guys what I use for that. It's an incline, but it's just the angle is a bit, it comes up a little bit. So almost almost like you're pressing forward, doing like a shoulder press, but it's not. And the grip is actually closer. But from this angle, I cannot do it because I'm not positioned, the bench is in the wrong position. So when you go back down, and we're gonna do it there, because I wanna spend a bit more time doing that exercise. This is why I'm wearing the gloves, because if the band was wrapped around my hands like that, I'd be choking my hands. Back in the days when I was competing, we didn't have, like I said, we didn't have coaches. We had training partners. So sometimes I will hook up with a couple of guys and we all meet up at the gym. Sometimes there's four of us, but sometimes it's two. And so one guy rests, the other guy gets on the bench and do his thing. And we keep rotating like that. And then you need a spotter, the person spots you. That's how we did it. And it was pure raw motivation. Like we just keep going. Okay, come on, let's go. Like really, really good training sessions I had back then. And if one guy is competing, the other guy is gonna help him, like help spot him or whatever he needs to get done. The other guy's gonna, push him, right? But there was no actual coach. When it came down to dieting, whoever we learn or diet, whoever teach us about dieting, we didn't actually research that stuff. It's just one guy was probably competing and he says, hey, this is what you do. And that's what we did. And we got results. Sometimes we didn't peak. Some guy didn't peak, but eventually you did, right? Because you get to know more about your body and what was going on. But today, it's a little different. But today, a lot of the what you call professional coaches out there, they're former bodybuilders. Some of them are bodybuilding champions. Now, if I was seeking advice from someone, I'd be just maybe seeking advice more about dieting, you know, but not training. I will not seek advice on training from anyone. Dieting, I think I'll probably go after because I can learn a lot more about dieting. Because I like to cheat sometimes, right? you know, I have my moments where I'm gonna cheat. Because, so this is the angle I'm going. Just one little bit down, and then I'm gonna do this version of incline chest presses. So I'm gonna put my hands a bit closed, and I'm gonna push upwards. So I'll try to get my hands as close as possible. And instead of pushing forward, I'm gonna push upwards with my hands together. And that catches directly on the upper chest. Right up here. Right across here. Where that connects directly into the shoulders. That's where what I'm trying to hit. Because like I said before, the upper chest is so important when you're training. If you're building your chest, it's so important to keep the lower chest in place, because if that muscles become very weak and loses its elasticity, everything is just gonna fall. So you have to get the front delts and that upper chest area always tight to support the bottom. So what I'm saying, guys, study your body. When you're doing an exercise, don't just do it, study your body. Every single exercise you do, study your body and try to feel exactly how that muscle is working. That's what's very important. You don't just do an exercise, you have to put your mind focus on that area that you're working and try to see exactly how it's responding to every exercise that you do to work with that area of your body. And then you'll understand your body and know exactly what it needs. Don't just listen to someone saying do this or do that. You have to do it yourself and learn. Because if you don't do that, you never get results. I got one more set in there. It's like, for example, since I had my accident to my left knee, it's been very difficult for me to figure out how to work my legs because everything I touched was an issue. So it helped me to start learning more about what is going to work better for my legs. Even sometimes when I'm standing up doing a squat, I'm trying to play around with, do I push off of my toe? Because sometimes you hear this cracking sound in my knees. My knees is just cracking all the time. So when I do my squats, I'm actually playing around with angles to see where I do it that I don't feel that or hear that sound because I don't want to hear it. So how do I position my foot in the ground? Like all these little things you have to pay attention to, because if you pay attention to those things, you learn. You're learning about your body and what angle is going to work better. So that's the way I did to start rebuilding my left quadricep. Okay. The next exercise. When I walk in the gym, like I said, I don't speak to anyone. I just go into the gym. Back when I was going to the gym, and my focus is me, just me. That's my moment, and I'm fully covered. No one sees what I look like, and I just walk in there and I just do my thing. If someone asks me a question, I just nod my head, never speak, and it says, after I'm finished training, then you can talk to me, because the only time I have to focus on myself is that moment. Yeah, it's selfish, because that's what bodybuilding is, a selfish thing. You focus on yourself. And I'm actually struggling with this exercise now because of the problems with my shoulders. So when I look at the camera, I can see like sometimes my hands is, because I'm feeling something in here, right in the back here. I can see my hands. I'm trying to like avoid what I'm feeling. So I'm trying to move around a lot there, trying to get the right position. Yeah, and that's part of the issues of arthritis that I'm going through right now with my shoulders. So sometimes little things like that can force you to change the way you're training. Whew. Okay, we're gonna move the camera again, guys. Sorry. We gotta go to the hallway to get the next exercise done. Hands are just wet. Still wet. How am I gonna do this? Because the camera is sitting on top of what I need. You guys see my ugly face even more. Hopefully I don't shut everything off. Oh, I made it. There must be a better way to do this. I think the better way is to just work out in the same spot. But I'm using a tiny hallway. That's what I have at the moment. Yeah, it looks so horrible. Okay. Yeah, YouTube on one side and the other side thick as the talk. So we do some crossover. I would like to increase the resistance bands for the crossover, but I can't because where the heavy duty clamp is mounted, I'm a little nervous to actually put a much higher level band on top there. This is why I leave just this band up there, but let's see if I could find another spot. Maybe do some outdoor stuff in the summertime in my backyard. Okay. Ooh. This is starting to become my favorite exercise for chest because it actually is very effective. I get a serious pump when I do crossovers. Because the reason why it's probably becoming my favorite exercise, because as I told you guys before, I have some issues with my wrist. And for some reason, everything else I do seems to kind of irritates it. But this, I feel very comfortable when I get into start doing this exercise. Because it actually burns when I'm doing it. Especially if I'm going for like anywhere past 15 reps, it starts to burn. And when that happens, I know my chest is working because you can feel it through the muscle fibers. One more set. Oof. Burn, 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 burn. Okay guys, that's it. That's my chest workout, it's done. And my quadricep is like hurting like hell right now from all those lunges and squats I did the other night. This is day 3, and it's like going down the stairs, up the stairs is so hard. So I'm just squatting down here right now, trying to keep it stretched out so I can recover, because I have another big workout coming up for it again. Okay, guys, thank you for your support. Thank you for, what's that? Thank you for watching my live, and stay tuned. There's lots more coming. The big goal is for me to stay as healthy as possible through it, that I can reach my goal. And I hope you guys are working out. Somebody might be following me along and doing some workout, and maybe you might want to lose weight or something, and you might see what I'm doing, and maybe you want to copy it and just keep going too with me. So, what's I saying? Yeah, doing workout with the chest with resistance bands. And you can actually use it to do push-ups too. But my wrist is not in top condition right now. So maybe the next time I do my chest workout, I might try to throw some push-ups in there and show how to use the bands to do the push-ups. But right now I have some serious problems going on in here. And it's actually, seems like it's genetic in my family, because my sister has the same issue. Also my dad, so something happened here with the tendons. But I had a history of tendonitis, so that's why I had to get surgery done on this, on my left wrist, to fuse the bones together in there. They took a bone from my hip and they fused the bone in there. I had a history with that kind of issue, so, but it hasn't stopped me from working out. Although my strength is much stronger on the right than the left now, way off, but it hasn't stopped me. So yeah, I think bands are very good to work out with. That's what I find. I've been doing it for years now. But you should also use weights too. I'm not gonna say to you guys don't use weights. You should use both. You know, you can rotate back and forth, right? If you want to be a bodybuilder, trust me, you're gonna have to use the weights. You're gonna have to feel that weight. And this is why sometimes I would use weights too, because I want to feel the weight in my hands still. I use the bands because I feel it's much safer for me right now at my age. I'm gonna be 60 soon, so I'm just thinking about just staying fit and healthy as much as I can. But again, like I said to you guys, it's what I spoke to you about before. At the end of the day, you have to do the exercise and feel how it's going to work for your body. No one else can do that for you. Someone can say, do this, do that. But you might do it and you may not get any results. But you have to connect your mind to that muscle and feel which exercise is going to work. A lot of trainers, what I know, for example, pull-ups is my favorite exercise, right? Let me sit for a while and talk with you guys. Pull-ups is my favorite exercise. So if I say to you, do pull-ups for your back, it's gonna work for your back. Trust me, it's gonna work for your back. And then you start doing pull-ups, and then your bicep is getting bigger, but you don't see a lot of results in your back. You're gonna say to me, hey, I pay you money to train me, but this is what's happening. You know, because for some people, doing a pull-up, they get lots of results on their bicep, but their back doesn't get the kind of results. And it also depends on the angle that you're actually using to do the exercise. And so you have to, like, at the end of the day, you have to do the exercise and find out. A few years back, actually when I first started my TikTok account, this was June COVID, I heard there's a lot of personal trainers saying on their account, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. This doesn't work for you. This is not right. This is wrong. This exercise is garbage. I heard a lot of this garbage. And at that time, I wasn't uploading any videos. I just listened and says, what are these guys talking about? And a lot of them were science-based trainers who was talking this way. Says, what are they talking about? Like, why are they preaching this nonsense? So a lot of the times, a coach may give you an exercise that they like doing. That's their favorite exercise. They got results from it. That's good for them, but you may not get the same results. So you have to experiment and see which one is going to work. And, don't throw, like, there's tons of exercises out there. Some is going to work and some is not going to work. But you have to find out which one is going to work for you. I mean, like, that's basically what it is. Like, when I was competing in bodybuilding, I did a lot of squats, did a lot of leg presses, hack squat. All those exercises work for me. Now, back then I did a lot of leg extension when I was competing, when I was maybe 6 weeks to about 8 weeks before a contest. I did a lot of leg extension. Now I have to keep away from leg extensions. And I was worried about not doing leg extension. And I found out that all I have to do now is maybe walk a bit more and do a lot higher reps when I work my legs. Like body weight squats are like tons of reps, and I can get the exact same results that I was getting from leg extension. So you have to learn and find out what's going to work best for your body. Because again, there's tons of exercise out there, and it's not all of them is going to work, right? A few of them will hit your body really good and you get good results. Stick with it. Don't change it, right? The most you can do is probably rotate them, move them around. But if it's working, don't do something else. That's probably going to screw up everything. So I see someone, Laura. I think I know you, Laura. Your picture look a little familiar. I think I know this, Laura. Hi, Laura. How are you? Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. And that's it. I am out of here. Let me see you guys later on YouTube. Thanks again. Have a good night. And TikTok.